get you some global stories. Well, America's trade war enters a new chapter. US Customs will begin collecting fresh tariffs from 86 countries, including a staggering 104% duty on Chinese imports in just a couple of hours. Now, after China rejected US blackmail and both parties refused to back down, Trump announced that he would double tariffs on the biggest manufacturing capital of the world. Trump, however, still left the door ajar for Beijing to reconcile. In a post on social media platform Truth, he wrote, and I quote, "China also wants to make a deal badly, but they don't know how to get it started. We are waiting for their call." End quote.
Moving on, even as the White House scrambles to begin trade talks with allies like South Korea, Japan and Italy, the administration insists country-specific tariffs, some as high as 50%, are rolling out on time. Trump, in fact, has said that every country wants a deal, but also admits that we can't see that many that fast since every deal will be tailored to individual countries. Let's go across and listen in to what exactly he then had to say.
The tariffs, you've been hearing about tariffs. We're taking in almost $2 billion a day in tariffs. $2 billion a day. And we're doing very well. And we're doing very well in making, I call them tailored deals, not off the rack. These are tailored, highly tailored deals. Right now, Japan is flying here to make a deal. South Korea is flying here to make a deal, and others are flying here. I mean, my only problem is I'm not sure I have enough. We're going to have to use those great law firms, I think, to help us with that.
Moving on, Canada is also firing back. Prime Minister Mark Carney has announced a 25% tariff on US vehicles, calling Washington's trade moves unjustified and misguided. Though Trump spared Canada from fresh levies this week, tariffs on Canadian steel, aluminium and vehicles remain, prompting Carney's swift retaliation. Now, only US vehicles that violate the Continental Free Trade Deal will be taxed, and auto parts are excluded from this deal.
On, war of words continues between the two nations as US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent warns that China made a big mistake in the trade war by imposing 34% retaliatory tariffs against the US. In fact, in an interview, he also added that the US holds leverage in this partnership, also expects more countries to join negotiations, putting the blame entirely on China.
Next up, the big tech crown has shifted once again. After a brutal 4-day sell-off, Apple has lost almost 1/4 of its value, putting Microsoft back on the top as the world's most valuable listed company. Apple's China exposure is making it a prime casualty of Trump's sweeping new tariffs. And the UBS has warned that iPhone 16 Pro Max could cost $350 more in the US.
Moving on, the Justice Department has shut down its cryptocurrency investing fraud unit with immediate effect. This comes after the Trump administration ramps up its embrace of the emerging digital currency market. And you do have Deputy Attorney General, in fact, who's also ordered prosecutors to pivot to investigating transnational criminal organizations as well as terrorist groups that use crypto to engage in illicit transactions.
Moving on, another collateral damage to US's trade war. TSMC is staring at a potential $1 billion penalty from a probe into whether it violated export controls by making chips that ended up powering Huawei's high-end AI processors. Now, according to reports, TSMC built nearly 3 million chips for a China-based major, and because the company uses US tech in its Taiwan fabs, it falls under US export rules. Moreover, Trump tells TSMC that pat 100% tax if it didn't build its plants in the US.
Moving on, Union Minister of Commerce and Industry Piyush Goyal emphasized on the bilateral trade deal between India and the US amid the tariff environment. Also said that engagement with US is going well. Let's go across and listen in.
Working on a bilateral trade agreement, as was decided between Prime Minister Modi and President Trump in February. We have had a series of engagements. All of them are going well in the right direction. Obviously, we are covering a very wide array of subjects, a very wide array of products, and I can assure business persons across the country that we are keeping the best interests of India at the forefront of our discussions. India first is our mantra, is our guiding principle, and our bilateral trade agreement with the United States of America will power the economy towards Viksit Bharat 2047.
Well, that's the word coming in from the Commerce Minister.